Today on the show, I'm speaking with Vasavi Kumar, and she talks about why we shouldn't be bothered about worrying what other people think about us and how detrimental it is to our success. So enjoy. Hi, I'm Natalie Ledwell, and this is The Inspiration Show. And today my special guest is Vasavi Kumar. How are you, Vasavi?
I'm good, Natalie. How are you?
Great. Now, we're actually going to be talking about a fantastic subject today about not giving a damn about what other people think about you. So I can't wait to get into that. But before we do, let's talk a little bit about you and your background and what it is that you do.
So just on a educational level, I have 2 masters in special ed and social work from Columbia University. I am a New Yorker by birth, born and raised New Yorker. My parents are okay with the hurricane and all that stuff. They're doing okay. And then I became a certified coach because while I'd studied therapy for so long, I'd been in therapy for almost 18 years of my life. I started very young in this journey of just trying to find out what was real and what was not. I found that with therapy, I spent a lot of time just dissecting my past, a lot. And while that's very useful, what I found was missing was really being right here, right now, and also looking out and just really looking at the vision for my future. And then I found coaching. Someone actually said to me, "You should be a life coach." And I said, "Okay." And then I looked it up. I started working with the coach. I enrolled in a year-long, a pretty intense training program. And all those accomplishments are really great, Natalie. I mean, I admit I look very good on paper. I have an Ivy League education, double master's, but my true experience comes from falling on my face many times and getting back up. So I always have to throw that piece in, because there are people that want to know that I'm educated and I have some sort of credentials. But for me personally, what I know now and who I am now has come so much from falling on my face, getting back up, and doing it about 100 times.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I was actually, I just did a call actually for my, my Ultimate Success Masterclass students. We're talking about core values, and going through, and part of my core values is like being authentic. Like, the thing is, you've got to be able to walk your talk. You know, you don't want to just be standing there and just sprouting off all this information, which is all theory, when you haven't actually gone through the motions yourself. So you're telling me someone who actually does walk the talk and has been through the motions.
I have been through the motions. I absolutely walk my talk. There's nothing that I will suggest my clients to do that I have not done myself. And I think the number one thing when you're in this role and people look to you as an expert, you have to be willing to share what you've gone through, because otherwise there's a power dynamic where you're kind of like better than and the client's less than. And my clients know immediately when we're working together, we are right here.
Yeah.
We are together. I may be a few steps ahead because I've gone through it. I've worked on that aspect of my life, but there is no better than or less than.
Right. Yes, absolutely. So why shouldn't we care about what other people think?
That's a great question. Why we shouldn't care? It's just not fair to us. I think the greatest gift that we can give ourselves is to find out who we are. Why am I here? I mean, the fact that we are born, we've been created by this life force. We are here for a reason. And I think if the only thing that you can discover in this lifetime is who you really are, then your life is complete. And so I find so many people who struggle with not wanting to kind of move forward in their life, or they're scared to do certain things because they're afraid of what their parents are going to think, or their family members, their friends, what people around them are going to think. When you start giving a damn what other people think, you will inevitably just stay stuck. If that's going to be the barrier for you to move forward, that's a huge barrier. That's why most people don't move forward, because that is such a huge barrier that keeps people from moving forward. You can't give a damn what other people think, because if you do, you are not fully going to live your life.
Right. So, I mean, we talk about, you know, being surrounded by negative people. I mean, most of the time, they're just trying to keep us safe, really, aren't they? They're just working on their own paradigms and their own programming, and they're coming from a good place, but they're trying to hold us back. Is that what you find?
Okay, so yeah, and I like that you said that, because it doesn't normally come from a malicious place.
No.
You know, I really I hung with a pretty rough crowd back in the day, in my teens and my early 20s, they weren't bad. They were just kind of misguided. And as I started to kind of move away and stop doing certain things, stop using drugs, stop drinking, stop, partying till 5 a.m. just with my mind completely obliterated, as I stopped doing that stuff, it was weird for them because when you start to move up, and I don't mean up like you're better than, when you start to evolve and start to really find out who you are and get your priorities straight, you're leaving other people behind you that are like, wait a minute, don't leave me. I don't want you to leave me. So you're always going to come across that struggle. You're going to find people that are uncomfortable with you truly knowing who you are. The scariest thing for people, the people around you, and you yourself, is clarity. Because when we're clear, you're unshakable.
Right.
No one can stop you.
So how do people figure out who they are? Is there a process they can go through to do this?
Well, I personally think that it really goes, there's many modalities. Silence, stillness and silence for me is number one. Yeah. Where there is stillness, that's where God exists, the universe, higher being, whatever you want to say. But you got to spend, I would say for a newbie, for a beginner, spend maybe 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening. If you can during the day, just 5 minutes, just stop. Don't do anything. And just shut down. That's when you truly receive the messages. And I say that you get them from God, but you're really getting it from inside of you, right? God's not out there. God's right in here. So I would say the first thing is really stillness. Like, make it a point to be still. Shut down everything. Don't do anything. I would also say to find out who you are, use the people in your community that love you, that want the best for you, that see your greatness even when you don't see it in yourself. So you need to be around people that even when you're sitting in your poopy box and you're like, I feel sorry for myself. You have friends that are like, no, you're awesome. You want to be around those kind of people and just ask them, like, who am I? Like, you want to have that conversation with people who get you and who know you. Journaling is also really great. But honestly, for me, it really is doing what you say you're going to do. You will start to find out your true character, about who you really are at the core when you say you're going to do something and you do it. That follow through is so powerful, and you start to see, wow, I really am a powerful human being. I really am awesome. The reason why we don't know who we truly are is because we think one thing, we say one thing, and we do another thing.
Yeah.
That's why we're so confused. Who am I? Because, women are a perfect example. I just got to say this. To a woman's face, we'll say, yeah, sure, I'd love to. But inside, we're like, I don't really want to do that. Right there, create a split. You split inside of you. So the number one thing after stillness, after, talking to your friends, is also doing what you say you're going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So is there any time that we should be listening to other people, or should we just be discounting what they say all the time?
I think there are a few close people that you can listen to. For me, I could just share, it's my parents and it's my husband. My parents to a point, my mother to a point, because she operates a little bit more fear-based. I love her dearly, but she's my mother. She will always be a protector for me. My father gets the big picture. I think you have to really listen to yourself. So if what you're getting back from someone else, just ask how you feel when you hear it. Like if you give me a piece of advice, just sit with it. You don't have to I don't have to respond to what you say immediately, but I can say, okay, let me sit with that. Let me see how it feels. Is there any truth to that? Is this applicable to my life? If I take this advice, will it move me forward? You just gotta pay attention to how you feel about things.
Yeah.
We don't have to react immediately.
Yeah. And I think too, it's really important that you talk about the stillness, and being quiet and like unbooting from the din of what life really is. Because if you have a question, you have a challenge, in those quiet times, if you shut up long enough, you will be able to get the message. You'll be able to get the answer. And I think, probably the only other person I would add to that list is a mentor. Someone that you're working with that is actually going ahead. But so how detrimental is it for us to be worried about what society thinks and what random other people think?
It's very detrimental. I think it's one of the most detrimental things that you can do if you're going to allow society and other people's opinions affect you. So I'm all about freedom of speech, okay? I'll say that. However, I think there's a responsibility that comes with freedom of speech. So if I'm going to speak, am I spewing negativity? Am I spewing hatred? Am I moving society forward? Am I moving the human race forward? Okay, so there's a responsibility that comes with the ability to be free. I think in our society, we have this struggle. It's like we want to be free, but then we are so binded by the rules, right? So there's this dichotomy, and because we're so trapped by the rules, we say anything. We don't think before we speak. But to go back to your original question, it is absolutely detrimental. It is, I would say, the number one thing is the company that you keep that will make or break your success. But right along that same level is listening to other people's opinions. Worrying about other people's judgments and perceptions of you is a detrimental thing. That is just total domination of your life, if you allow that.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
So what else can we tell people about this? Is there anything that they, like if someone's listening to this video today, what can they do right now to sort of get past this, and to not be so worried about what other people are thinking?
Well, I actually have a free mindset training video where I am just so like in your face about some of the big fat lies that we've been told. So if you go to S.O.U.R.C.E..com, it's a 4-part training series where I really go deep into how I've allowed in my past for society, cultural, religious kind of norms to control my life and how I got out of it. I think the number one thing is to find someone who you really feel is free and comfortable in their own skin and learn from them. Yeah. I think my best mentors all had what I wanted, which is that freedom to just be them, say them. Like I had no idea what I was going to say when I got on this conversation with you, Natalie. I just got to be really honest. But it feels so good to know that I have what's in here to talk to you, right? It's just a certain sense of freedom, and you just got to trust. I just trust whatever I say is going to impact someone. That's it. But for your viewers, I would definitely say find someone that you're like, wow, I really like that about them. I like how comfortable they feel in their skin. I like how confident, and then learn from them.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't have to invent the wheel.
Cool. So can you just say that website one more time so we can make sure people have that URL?
Absolutely. It's sourceofyoursuccess.com.
Source of Your Success.
S-O-U-R-C-E of yoursuccess.com.
Wonderful. And guys, if you click on the banner to the side there, you'll actually go straight through to Vasavi's website from there as well. Darling, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks, Natalie.
Now, I know that we actually have quite a bit of information, so we might even record another video together. We'll see.
I would love to.
All right. Now, guys, please, I encourage you to share this video and all the information in it by clicking the Facebook and the Twitter share buttons above. And if you haven't done so already, make sure that you leave put your email in the box above there. I would love to send you my Manifesting with the Masters video e-course. It's valued at $87. It has masters like Bob Proctor and Joe Vitale and John Assaraf. I'd like to send it to you for free. So to get that, just make sure you put your email in the box there. So until next time, remember to live large, choose courageously, and love without limits. We'll see you soon.